Great. Well, welcome everybody. We're very lucky to have Amanda Wonderland with us from
I
Germany right now.
know. Yes. Thank you for having me, Evan. Welcome,
Yeah,
everyone.
thanks for doing this. Welcome to a tag team tapping. If you've come across that or not, it's when two practitioners or more, it's never been more than two so far, come together, and what we do is we swap out rounds. So we're taking the general theme today, which is loneliness, but not, you don't have to be truly lonely, right? To be feeling a craving for connection, feeling disconnected. You may be surrounded by people, but feeling isolated, feeling like you are surrounded by people who themselves are feeling kind of disconnected or, locked into technology and all of these things. So you could be married with kids and feel lonely and disconnected. And then it's weird because you think you shouldn't be, because actually your mind is telling you like, I actually kind of like people I'm around, but I feel lonely or disconnected in some way. So you don't have to be single. It's not like that kind of framing. Anything you're feeling around the subject of, I just feel disconnected. I want to feel more connected. This is how it's showing up for me. It's a really important topic right now. There was a really strange thing that happened. I mean, I don't know if it's strange or not. It's just fascinating where I guess they had to change Chat GPT back, or there was a big uprising because it wasn't being as friendly and as social in its responses to people. And there was a huge outcry of people who were like, this is my only friend. And this is actually my source of relationship. And so there's an actual like movement or energy around that, which just sort of goes to show how much people are sort of craving this sense of connection. So anything you might be experiencing, any feelings you have on the subject, and we'll put those in the chat. And I'm just curious, Amanda, if this subject in general brings up any ideas or thoughts for you that might people resonate with or get in tune with.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for a lot of us in the last 5 years, we've gone solopreneur and we work at home by ourselves. And sometimes our only connection is via Zoom. And even though we're grateful for even that small connection, we're still alone most of the day. And so it can just lead to this deep longing for actual community. And I do think in a lot of ways, many of us close down to keep ourselves safe, not only physically, but also, we may have experienced loss or rejection that has prevented us from really energetically allowing ourselves to be open to the possibility of connection. Or we feel like we're just grasping for straws, whatever we can get, we'll take. I also do think when you're on this healing journey and you're healing your traumas, you're regulating your nervous system, you're identifying your triggers, you're working through your stuff, your vibration lifts and you become no longer in alignment with some of the people that are currently in your life. Maybe the people that you grew up with, maybe the people you went to college with. And the healing journey itself can be an extremely lonely place to be. And so it's about that gap in between. Well, that no longer resonates with me, but I haven't yet called in or manifested my community, my tribe of like-minded people that I can speak openly with about the things that I'm dealing with. And so there's kind of a chasm where I think that the universe allows us to go deep within and to find our own connection and to realize that this separation that we feel is merely just an illusion so that we can start to connect with whatever resonates with us, our higher power, our sense of community itself, our knowledge that we are all one. So I think there's a lot of ways that you can go about this loneliness. I think when it comes to romantic relationships, there's a comparison aspect as well, where you may look around you and think, oh, everybody's got somebody. When's mine going to come? Why do I keep manifesting the same types of relationships or attracting the same types of people? And just being open to this phase of loneliness being an opportunity to go in there and find the root causes of these behaviors, these beliefs, these patterns. So there's a lot of different things I think that can feed into loneliness. And I think today, just holding space for whatever is rising for you is the bare minimum that we can do without feeling like we need to fix it. We need to go in and figure it out with our cognitive minds. We know that's not where the answer is anyway. So just honoring what our body is feeling when we have this deep sense of loneliness. For me, it's sometimes just an ache in the chest. It just, oh, I need my people. I need a hug. I need some physical affection that I can't get through the Zoom screen. So just honoring where you're at and being open to the energy shifting, I think will be a great beginning for us as we tackle this big topic for a lot of us in the world today, as you've said, with ChatGPT changing and it leaving a gap in a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, a lot of great stuff there. So why don't we jump into some tapping? Since you said a lot of great stuff there, I'll just kind of piggyback off of that in the form of tapping, and we'll keep it going like that. And then, of course, people listening, if anything resonated or jumps out, we'll incorporate it as we tap. So feel free to, if things come up for you and you feel like sharing, go ahead and throw them in there. So let's start with even though. I definitely resonate with at least one of the things Amanda said. Whether that's just needing my tribe or community, feeling like I've been separating or distancing from people that are in my life, romantically or otherwise. Just choose to have compassion for myself and everything I'm feeling. So even though I feel this disconnection, however I feel it physically, whether my mind thinks it makes sense or not, based on my external circumstances, I do feel some form of longing or desire here. And I'm just open to being present with that feeling. And even though I do feel this loneliness, or some form of craving more connection, I choose to honor myself and how I'm experiencing this. And we'll go through the points now and say, yeah, I'm definitely resonating with this. Maybe it's some of it, maybe it's all of it. And maybe my mind is working hard, trying to figure all of this out. Well, maybe I need a better or existing romantic relationship. Okay, what's the tapping I do for that? How am I supposed to attract that? And the 8 million things I've learned about what I need to do internally and externally in order to have more relationships or any relationships. And maybe I've got all these other ideas that, well, now I have to heal myself. I have to love myself first, whatever that means, before I can even get better connections, right? So sometimes even my working with myself can become isolating. Like relationship or connection is something I have to earn or achieve. And maybe it's shifted from looking the right way or being extroverted and outgoing to now I have to be healed and whole. However it's showing up for me. whether that's just lacking a community, or I'm in one, but I still feel disconnected. Maybe it doesn't feel to me that I can really be myself and express myself. So I don't really feel seen or heard. And however and whatever this is bringing up, just allowing myself to be with it, even though it's uncomfortable. To give myself just this moment here, to not be improving myself in order to be worthy of love or connection. But notice that there is a type of connection already, which is how I'm relating to what I'm feeling. So setting the stage for myself as best I can, that I can start with connecting to these uncomfortable feelings in the way that it would be really nice if more people listened to and were with me. So just being with them as best I can. Okay, let's take a breath there. I notice a comment coming off of the direction that came to me there. And then if you don't, quote, manifest the relationships, you're clearly doing something wrong or not doing things the right way, which is not an uncommon theme for someone who would watch a process like this, right? This isn't just, being recommended on everyone's feed. This is someone who's already tapping and already probably has a lot of ideas about this. And yeah, you can see that. I'm doing something wrong, or because I'm not attracting love now. So yeah, thank you for sharing. Something we'll probably continue in that direction with. And Amanda, anything that brings up for you or places you want to take it next?
Yeah, I think these expectations that we have for ourselves and the pressure that we put on ourselves to show up in a particular way in order to attract or manifest. I'm an introvert. I get, frozen in public context. I need to be reaching out to more people. I need to be um, more open to the possibility of rejection without allowing it to completely debilitate me. I need to open my heart after having lost or after having been in an abusive relationship or whatever it is that we are putting on ourselves, blaming ourselves for this feeling of a lack of connection. I want you to just tune into that right now. And I'd really love for us to just stick with the truth of the moment. As painful as it may be, we're tapping, keeping ourselves safe as we allow this inner critic voice that sits on our shoulders that says it's your fault, there's something wrong with you, you're not outgoing enough, you're not healed enough. Whatever that voice is, allowing that pressure to just be and feeling into your body where that is. This sense of expectation for you to show up like someone else, the sense of comparison as to why they may have a group and you do not, feeling like there's something wrong with you, and just allowing that pressure to be there and bathing yourself in as much self-compassion as you possibly can as we just acknowledge it and honor it and invite the energy to move. So tuning into your body right now, take a look and see where you're feeling this pressure. Nice full gentle breath on the side of the hand. Even though I feel like I'm in a tricky spot right now, and I'm not sure if I feel safe putting myself out there to find a new community or to really connect with my current community. I've been hurt in the past. I've been rejected. I've suffered loss. And I choose to be gentle and loving with myself in this moment. Even though part of me thinks I need to be more outgoing and take bigger risks in order to find my love or my community, I acknowledge the pressure I'm putting on myself. And I'm open to just lifting it 10% today as I accept myself just as I am, right here, right now. Even though part of me is afraid of rejection, and maybe a part of me doesn't want to be feeling this, I'm open to honoring the part of me that does. Go to the eyebrow. What if they don't like me? Side of the eye. What if I show them who I really am and it feels like it's not enough? What if they ghost me and I'm left with all the what ifs? Is it me? Is there something wrong with me? Everyone else seems to have friends and loved ones. And I feel this deep ache of loneliness in my body. This deep sense of separation from everyone else. All this pressure to show up in a certain way. All this self-blame when I don't. I just want to be seen and understood. I just want to speak my truth without second guessing every word. I just want people to like me as I am. But I have proof that that's not always the case. I have memories of showing up authentically and being rejected. And maybe part of me is keeping me safe from feeling that again. This part of my heart that may feel closed up, that may not want to let new people in, that may not want to let the old people see the new me. They liked me for who I was, and I've changed so much. And I don't feel connected to them anymore. And I'm beginning to wonder if I'm even connected with myself. Who am I supposed to be in order to feel connected? How am I supposed to show up and speak in order to feel connected? All these expectations and comparisons, all this pressure and self-blame. And I give my body permission to relax anyway. What if I'm right where I need to be in my journey? I'm open to that possibility. What if there's a hidden gift in this loneliness? So I can become the love that I seek. So I can get clear on what I deserve in a relationship. So I can give what they deserve in a relationship. To hold unconditional love for one another. To listen without judgment or advice. To provide a shoulder to cry on when needed. And to provide a smile when joy is missing. I'm learning, I'm growing, and it's entirely possible that this too shall pass. I've loved and I've lost, and I may love and lose again. And maybe I will still survive. I'm open, I'm curious, and I'm willing to see how my perspective may shift. Taking a nice, full, gentle breath under the arm. And then dropping into your body and seeing what still may be there. When you think about reaching out or connecting in any way with anybody, feel into your body and see if there are any shifts or any new blocks showing up for you, any new fears. And we'll be sure to honor those as well. And for you, Evan, anything come up for you in that round?
Oh yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. And noticing how, especially at the end there for me, that it kind of went in the direction of it doesn't, if it doesn't feel safe to give in some way, to be not has nothing to do with extroversion, but just if you feel kind of closed down, fear of being rejected, then it's just natural without thinking about it that your own kind of energy, your way of interacting with people is not going to be such that sort of like inviting connection. And that's how a lot of the world is. And so it's kind of, we're all hoping someone else is going to do it. And that can be a lot of, and it's actually quite rare. And usually people really like it when there is that person who is more prone to initiate a conversation or wave or smile as a stranger. And again, it's not about you becoming that or forcing extroversion, but just this idea of, okay, can I get comfortable with the idea of giving? Because if you're not, even internally, even to yourself, which a lot of us are not, then it's difficult also to be in any kind of exchange, because the connection we want, unless you're just like an iron fist, you're just looking for people to order around, which I don't think is anyone here. What you want is some kind of exchange. So it does go kind of both directions. And the tendency is this, like, why isn't anyone giving me love or attention? But when you start looking at also those feelings that come up when, what does it feel like for me at the end there? You're saying, like, for me to give it even to myself, the tightness and the contractions or whatever that brings up. And we'll check in, see what people are saying, because there's also kind of almost a minute delay with YouTube, so people might just be getting to sharing their pieces of it now. Yeah, I felt that in so many directions. It was eye-opening. I felt such a compassion for where I am. Okay, fantastic, great. So we're moving in the right direction here. That's a good sign. So let's continue with that. Let's say, even though I may feel all sorts of new stuff, as though I wasn't feeling enough, when it comes to giving as well as receiving. That I'm not likable, or I'm not friendly or affable. And now that's another thing I have to fix about myself. And I just have compassion for where I'm at with this. And so even though I'm feeling this disconnection, perhaps not only from others in the world, but to myself, and the idea of giving or sharing, which is half of connection. And sometimes that's the scarier half. And I'm just honoring myself as best I can. So even though I don't feel safe with people or in relationships in general, feeling hopeless about ever being healed or good enough, now there's even more I have to heal. And I don't feel like I could connect with others, or maybe even these parts of myself. And I'm just allowing as best I can whatever that reaction is in me. As best I can, not trying to correct it or see that hopelessness or isolation as a bad thing I need to clear. And let's go through the points now and say, yeah, I do feel isolated and hopeless at times. Maybe it's less intense, maybe it's more. But I definitely feel disconnected. And I know it goes with giving as well as receiving. As much as I would love to receive some warmth or empathy from someone, there's a really good chance they also are looking for that. They don't look like they are. But that's the funny thing. Almost no one looks like they need it. I probably look totally fine to everyone else. People around me probably don't think that I'm feeling this way. Just like I don't see it in other people. And that might even be putting pressure on me. Oh, so now I have to give it. Now I have to be a giver in order to receive, which might feel like even more pressure. And as uncomfortable as it is, I'm really inviting up those feelings, including the frustration or the confusion, including the I still don't know what to actually do about this, or I don't know that just tapping on this is going to do anything. Or maybe it temporarily takes the edge off at best. And all the other things that are very common around this. I'm letting myself feel those. Because, yeah, relationships can be confusing. Because we have so much education about what they're supposed to be. what a likable or friendly person looks like. It might not even seem plausible that I'm actually allowed to be myself. Not like my, you know, idealized, perfect, healed self. Just me with everything I feel right now. That there might be other humans out there who also feel a lot of the same things. Like, there's probably hundreds of people out there all feeling like they're not healed enough, who could be hanging out and talking about that. But all these ideas about what I need to be like, as well as ideas I've picked up and reactions I have about what everyone else is like. Everyone else is more shallow or superficial. People don't get me. Other messages I might have picked up. Maybe from family or school. That, you know, I'm too much. I'm too loud or too quiet. I'm too this or not enough that. And it hurts when they said that. And that energy can go outward, where I'm angry or sad or frustrated at how I think everyone wants me to be, or all the expectations of who I was supposed to be. And it's became impossible and exhausting to keep that up. To some part of me, it's true. It's a lot easier to be isolated than it is to try to do that whole dance. To have to be the person I was told I need to be. To have to use that much effort and energy. To be, you know, friendly, but not too much. To be cool and not text too much. But still be connected, and all of these ideas. As well as managing my personality. Because if I just relax it, I'll be rejected. It's a lot of energy to keep all that up. Maybe my body doesn't have that energy. So isolation is the winner. It's the better choice. It might be really painful, but maybe it's less painful than the enormous toll that it takes to try to connect, or who I have to be to maintain connection. And so I can look at my isolation or disconnection and say it's a bad quality I need to fix. Or I can also be curious about what function it serves. Odds are it's a better choice than whatever I've learned it means, or who I believe I have to become or maintain. in order to actually have connection. So I'm even appreciating for just a moment. Yeah, to part of me, it feels better to be disconnected. And it's doing that to protect me or help me. Just opening up to that perspective, even if I'm doubting it heavily. Just opening up to, I might not be totally broken here. There's a good reason it feels unsafe or scary. There's a good reason being disconnected feels safer. And the more I'm open to that, the more that part of me can start to explore. Yeah, it probably was true. Probably was better to be isolated and disconnected. But maybe things can shift. Maybe my circumstances are different now. Or they could be. Just being open to that as best I can. Okay, let's pause there, take a breath. Let us know what you're feeling, and thank you for sharing in the chat that one of the setup statements there was direct from someone. It said, I don't feel safe with people or relationships in general, isolated and hopeless about ever being healed or good enough to be able to have connections, which definitely feels like part of the theme, which is not uncommon in these spaces, right? You will be rewarded with the relationship once all your trauma is healed, and which in and of itself is sort of a trauma response, you know.
Thank you, Evan. Yeah, managing my personality was very spot on. I agree. Um, as you were talking about feeling safer to stay disconnected and hearing all these things about yourself, I'm too much, people don't get me, I'm not like everybody else, you can't count on anybody, everybody leaves, all of these beliefs. I'd love for you to just tune into which one resonates with you most. And then I'd love to do a little bit of inner child work. Chances are a lot of us learned these ideas about ourselves when we were young. And that's what allowed us to come up with this belief that it is safer just to remain with ourselves, with this limiting belief that there's no one else like me, nobody gets me. For those of you that know me, you know that loneliness is my core wound in this lifetime. And I've felt lonely from the moment that I was born. I've been told my whole life, you were born in the wrong place at the wrong time, you just don't fit in. And I always felt as if this just isn't right. Whoever made this choice to bring me into this place at this time made a mistake, because I do not feel connected or related to anybody around me. And so there's been this strong, deep, core sense of loneliness, which I think has to do with a lot of inner child stuff, but also just potentially that feeling of existential loneliness that so many of us feel. And I'm going to go really spiritual with you on this, of just being separated sometimes from who we know we really are on a soul level, of coming into this humanity, in this body, in this density, and feeling disconnected from who we really are, which, in my opinion, is all just fractals of God's source energy coming down here to experience life in its own way. But we forget that sometimes. We get bogged down with this humanity. So I'd love to just take some time to do a little bit of inner child work. And as I do that, I want to just guide you to connect with this part of you who first learned that you're an outcast. You're an outsider. You're not like anybody else. No one's ever going to understand you. You're too much. You talk too loud. Your jokes aren't funny. People always leave. You can't count on anybody. If you want it done right, you have to do it yourself. Any of these beliefs that you have, I'd love for you to just tune into where they were first born for you. What age were you when you first learned that you maybe don't fit in with the rest of society or your family or your community or your school or your neighborhood? Any of those things that made you feel like I am innately isolated because nobody understands me. And every time I've thought that someone might understand me and I've taken that risk of being vulnerable and authentic, they've rejected me. So here's the proof that it's not safe to do that. So as we just do a little bit of a visualization to connect with that part of you that first learned these beliefs, and they are just beliefs, just like emotions, beliefs are just energy. It can be alchemized, it can be transmuted, it can be released, but not without us first staring it right in the face, acknowledging it, honoring where it came from, and accepting ourselves exactly as we are in this moment. And so that's what we're going to do. But I'd love to keep you tapping without necessarily needing to go through all of the points. So what I'd love you to do is just turn your palms towards yourself and then hook your thumbs together in a little butterfly tapping position or angel wings tapping position. And then place them on your chest. And we're just going to do a little bit of bilateral tapping as I guide you into a little visualization to bring you back to that moment in time, if you can remember it, or that series of events in your life at that particular age where you learned that it wasn't safe to connect with other people, that this sense of isolation is something you will carry for the rest of your life because of who you are, because you're not good enough for connection, because you're too much, because you're not enough. Whatever those are, go back to that age and see if you can just allow that inner child version of you to materialize in front of your eyes as you close your eyes and relax your tongue and allow every particle, muscle, atom, cell in your body to just succumb to gravity right now. Feeling your feet on the ground and your hips in your seat, and just noticing in your mind's eye this child, this version of you. It may be a newborn, it may be 6 years old, it may be 19 years old, it may be 36. Doesn't necessarily have to be a child, but where were you when this idea was planted that isolation is your destiny and no one will ever understand you? And allow that version of you to show up in front of you as you notice their facial expression, their body language, their energy, as you tap left and right, sending love from your heart space out to them and letting them know, I am here and I understand more than anybody where you're coming from and why you feel this way. And I'm here to do whatever you need in order to help you feel just 10% better today. Even if it's just me seeing you, acknowledging you, and loving you just as you are, I'm here to listen. So just allow this other version of yourself, this inner child, to have a moment to take the floor and tell you what happened, where they got this idea, and what they need from you in order to feel just a little bit better today. What does this part of you need in order to feel seen and connected, even if only to you right now? It may be that you bring in a higher power or a spirit team or some deceased relatives, or someone who you believe once got you and loved you, even if they're no longer in your life. And it may just be that you extend your energy out from your body to surround them with a beautiful soul hug in this moment. I see you. I hear you. I honor you. And I love you. And here in this moment, as you're listening to the needs of this version of you who just wants to feel a small sense of safety and connection, let's go ahead and tap with them. You can keep your eyes closed or you can open them here. But let's go ahead and move to the side of the hand. And with nothing but love, compassion, and acceptance, just say, even though I know it's difficult to be a human. And it can feel so lonely and isolating sometimes. Especially when you're as unique as we are. It may feel like no one's ever going to get you. And it's entirely possible that in 8 billion people on this planet, there's one person out there. Even though I know you learned that you'll always be alone and you'll always be different, we can rewire these learnings by simply accepting ourselves just as we are. Even though this sense of loneliness is deep and sometimes brutal and can penetrate our entire bodies, this energy may just be ready to shift, and we can open up the possibility for that. Moving to your eyebrow, maintaining eye contact with this version of you. I love you, little one. This part of me that got the message that I'm not good enough for connection, that I'm unlovable, that no one will ever really get me, that I'm too much, that I can't count on anyone. Look into that part, their eyes, and shower them with love and acceptance in this moment. Connecting on the soul level. It's not easy being human. It's not easy being in this skin, in this density. And we are more than this. We are inextricably linked in this weave of humanity, in this beautiful quilt of all of these humans. We are an essential ingredient. And even if you can't see that right now, it's okay. It makes sense that you're feeling lonely and isolated. This is part of the human condition. And it also makes sense that we are all one and deeply connected. This is part of our soul condition. And then just bring your hands into a havening position where you wrap your arms around either shoulder. Just give yourself a bit of a hug as you rub down your arms down to your elbows and then start back up. And whatever makes sense for you, if it feels like you're hugging this version of yourself or you are feeling a hug from your higher power or from the collection of humanity all around you, the energies of the soul family that awaits you, whatever feels good for you, to allow yourself to feel held, seen, supported, and loved, even if only from this group that's here today. Even if it's just in the loving energy of Evan and myself. Allow yourself to feel embraced and to receive this sense of connection from like-minded people on a similar path with you. And then you can relax your hands in your lap and tune into your body and see how it's feeling now. Notice if anything has shifted, and if anything still remains, please let us know in the chat, as we want to honor where everybody is in this group. Let us know how you're feeling.
Yeah, that was excellent. And yeah, let's take a look. Like I said, there's a bit of a delay, so people are probably just finishing that up. And yeah, we'll get a read on how people felt with that, to see what's best to kind of wrap things up, to leave people with. Whether you felt like this, huge release. We got freedom with a heart. That's a very good sign. Also, totally fine, which happens if you're like, I don't connect to a younger part of myself. I can't see that. That's also useful for us to know. Really sad
Yep.
that my infant came into a family of chaos. Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it's good that you're able to feel a sense of compassion for that, for sure, because it is sad. I guess, I mean, there are some people have different beliefs about it, but I would say, like, it's not that you necessarily, it's not like you chose to come in. You just show up one day and you're in this house with this family. Like, you wake up and you're here, and there's all this stuff, and there's people, and sometimes it's with, a really loving family around you, and other times it's total chaos, or even no one around you. Like, it happens. So whatever philosophically you might believe about that, just having compassion for what that's like for a baby or a young child, infant in this case, just trying to, it's hard to manage now, right? You know, let alone at such a young age. But yeah, good that we have people connecting to that. That was beautiful. Thank you for that. Great. So yeah, so we'll wrap things up here. We'll just do a little bit of chance to integrate all of that, and maybe stay in that zone if you feel like you're still kind of connected to that younger self, or connected to yourself in some way. We will just use this as an opportunity to kind of deepen that. So just stay with the points, So let's just say, yeah, even if it's the case that after this call is over, my external circumstances are the same. People might not just show up at my door to hang out, but noticing that within myself, there's this whole range of connection that's possible. Whether I really do connect to a younger self, and we have some here, like sadness as a teenager, and it could be memories, or it could be kind of abstract. That just noticing that there seems to be an ability within myself to tune into this stuff, to explore it and be present with it. It may even be the case that I connect with parts of myself where I can actually communicate. There's a real conversation to be had. It may respond when I ask questions. Or even I simply notice that feelings or sensations arise just with me asking myself the question, hey, what's going on in there? How's everyone doing in there today? So wherever I'm at with this, there may be an opportunity here. Say, oh yeah, I can practice and experience connection. Even if there's literally no one else for me to talk to. Maybe this results in some external communication. Maybe that's some time away from this. One is not better or worse. You can have a million friends and be totally disconnected. And there's some monk somewhere in the Himalayas just feeling pretty amazing, isolated, connected to something else and themselves, which are not really two different things. So just allowing myself to at least open up to this. I can come back to this as it feels right. And I'm allowed to explore this connection with myself in a way that feels natural to me. How would I actually talk to myself? The language might not be smooth or spiritual. It might be kind of rough and humorous. Just like whatever I need. Whatever helps me experience connection. That I can continue to play with this and explore it in the way that's right for me. Okay, let's take a breath there. Yeah, remembering there's no real right way to do that. Don't let this become another thing that, oh God, am I doing the inner dialogue correctly? And, that same thing, like, oh, okay, now I have to be the perfect healer to myself. Just however, hey man, what's going on in there, right? That might be how it sounds. And you can continue to revisit that process that Amanda guided you through so well. It's here to watch as many times as you want. And Amanda, thank you so much. That was super awesome.
Thank
You
you, Evan.
do other things where people can work with you in this way. I think you have a free group, is that right? As well as
I
other sources. I put
do.
your website on the chat and it's also in the description, but anything you want to let people know?
Beautiful. Yeah, you can find everything on my website, amandawonderland.com. And if you just go under what I offer, you'll see the free community tapping circle, my women's retreat, practitioner mastery mentorship, one-on-one sessions. This is my passion. This is what I'm here for. And so I'd love to hold space for you if you feel like you need a little bit of support, sorting through whatever's holding you back from living your biggest, best, and brightest lives.
Awesome. And thanks for the nice comments we're getting here. Like I said, there's a bit of a delay, so I'll leave it open for a second in case anyone has anything else they want to say, just as a quick shout out or thank you for these nice comments. This was excellent. Thank you so much for all of this. Thank you both for this. Some heart emojis. That's always a good sign. So yeah, I really appreciate you spending this time with me, Amanda, and sharing this with everyone. If you're up for it, we'll definitely do it again, and we'll have much more advance notice. Kind of took
Yes,
me a minute to
please.
get this all sorted out, but now I think I'm ready to go to continue with these. So I know I'm doing
Yeah.
another one in September with Faye Chan,
Oh,
and
beautiful.
yeah,
Good.
I think that's September 10th, and
Okay.
we'll keep you posted, and we'll do more of these. And anyone, by the way, is welcome to do these. If you are a practitioner yourself, I'll put it in the chat. There's some instructions of sorts. So it's not, the name is not, like, not only are you allowed to use it, please do, and you can have them added to the website. It might take a while to get it up there. It might not, because it's just something we're doing manually. But Brad Yates has been doing a bunch of them. He's kind of taken the ball with it, which is pretty awesome. So if you go to his channel, which most of you are probably familiar with, but not always as familiar on YouTube, you have to click on the live. Like, there's a list of videos, and then there's another tab that says live, and then you can see all the ones he's been doing. He did Carol Look recently, Scott Grace, I think, was yesterday, Andy Bryce, a bunch of good people, Jenny Clift. So, but the point being, for those of you watching, if you do want to upload it to YouTube, go to that website. You can see the instructions, and so anyone else is welcome to do these. We encourage it. It's a great way to expose people to different styles, different techniques. Some of you may have never done a process like Amanda did with the butterfly tapping or the inner child connection. So there's a lot of great stuff out there that we want people to be exposed to. So cool. Any final words, Amanda?
Not to sound cheesy or anything, but I really do love the quote that the most important relationship that you can nurture in this life is with yourself. It's a fact that we come in alone and we leave alone. So I really do think that fostering the deepest sense of connection with yourself without too much pressure, expectation, criticism is the biggest and best step that you can take toward feeling more connected to the collective. So if you're feeling like you're in a desert right now when it comes to human connection, this may just be a really beautiful opportunity for you to go deeper and connect within. That's what it was for me, and I'm really grateful for that time in between friend groups to really just turn the mirror on myself and focus on my relationship with me. So those are my final words there.
Awesome. Great advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much. And we look forward to seeing you again whenever we see you again. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.